Miss Nellie Banks, 100 years old plus. We're in her home at Pheasant Hills Estates off of Lingelstown Road in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's a lovely place, and we're here this morning as part of what we're calling the Centenarian Photo Poster Project. This is photos being taken of centenarians and a poster and calendar which will be created in 2018. So, Miss Nellie, how are you today?
I'm fine.
I'm glad. Now, I have 5 questions, and if you can just give us some of your responses and say it loud enough in there, we can pick it up. The next time I'm going to bring a mic. I forgot to this time, but it's all right. The next time I'll be able to do it. So my first question, Ms. Nellie, my first question to ask you is, how can we prepare to live a long life? You've lived a long life. What are some of the things that we can do to prepare to live a long life?
Trust in God.
Praise His holy name.
Hmm?
Praise His holy name.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Trusting in God.
Trust in God. Put your trust in Him.
Now, number 2, do you have any regrets or things that you would want to change now that you look back?
No.
Praise God. Praise His holy name. Now let me ask this one. Living to see an African American president, what has that meant to you?
To live to see an African
American president? Yes, ma'am.
I think it's great.
Did you ever think that you would live to see that?
No, I never thought I would live to see a black man in the White House.
Oh, I know that's right. A black man in the White House. Maybe they should have changed the name to the Black House after they got there.
Well, that's what they call us, black.
Yeah, that's what they call us. It's a beautiful thing. Now, these last 2 questions are going to require a little, just you consider it. The first is advice for young people. And when I say young people, that's almost everybody as far as you're concerned. Everybody's young, concerned you. What's some advice that you would give to young people?
The advice I would give them?
Yes, ma'am.
Be obedient. Honor your father and your mother.
Praise God.
And be a good Christian.
And be a good Christian. You know, to honor our father and mother was the first commandment with a promise. It says, honor your father and your mother, and the days of your life will be long. Yes. And so you evidently have followed that one.
Yes,
because the days of your life will be long.
I tried to follow that.
Then finally, if you could offer to Mike and I and to anybody else who might have the opportunity to see or hear this, can you give us 3 tips? 3 tips, 3 insights for life. 3 insights, 3 things that have helped you keep going as far as diet is concerned, as far as thoughts, thinking, as far as your choices. Can you give us 3 tips?
Oh, well, that's a hard one. No, what I'll say is to first love yourself.
Mercy.
Love God. And love your neighbor and treat them like you want to be treated.
Yes.
And be honest.
And be honest. You know, Miss Nellie, all of what you've given us is written in the book. It's a part of the book that we use as followers of Christ as guideposts and guidelines and instructions into how we ought to live.
Yeah.
The scripture itself says in 2 Timothy 3:16, one of the 3:16 scriptures, that all scripture is by inspiration of God,
Yes.
and is good for doctrine, for reproof, for correction and instruction into righteousness, that the man or woman of God might be thoroughly furnished to good works. You have been a servant your whole life. You have served folks, helped them, encouraged them. And there's never been a harsh word that I've ever witnessed coming from you.
No.
Never heard you banter in any kind of talking about people or wasting your time with gossip. You've always been an impeccable dresser and always just valued the things that have kept us as a culture, as a race of people. And you see these things slowly eroding. Does it bring sadness to your spirit to see how our values and how our culture is seeming to be, like the old folks say, going to hell in a breadbasket?
Yes, I think about that too, how people live and talk with me in my dress code. I grew up like to dress. I mean, I like to look different from anybody else. I used to always make my clothes. I just started buying clothes when I moved here, this apartment here, because I always make my own clothes. But from a child up, I want to follow Jesus, I never want to do things that other kids do. Sunday comes, I go to church, and Tuesday night I go to prayer meeting. On Thursday night I go to class meeting. Little kid. And when we get out of the class meeting, there always be a group of us kids. I would walk behind them, either ahead of them. I never walk with them.
Mercy.
I don't want to hear what they have to talk about, because they never talk about what I want to talk about. Because I always want to talk about the Lord, and they want to talk about boys and talk about girls and stuff like that. I never go with that. And I grew up that way. As I said, I went to school in my first grade, and I loved to laugh. I always laugh, and the teacher keep me in school and beat me so bad I never go back to school.
Oh, mercy.
I didn't go back to school until I was, you can see it in the thing there, 66 years old when I went back to school.
Praise the Lord.
But when I went back to school, when I got to school, I went there for the teacher to teach me. The teacher tell me to teach the rest of them who come to school to be, because I had no everything. One lady I used to work for, she said to me, Nellie, why do you always talk about school? Say you know how to do everything. I said, well, that's my mother with. I want my own with.
Yes.
I want to go to school to see what it's all about, going to school. But then the teacher sit up behind her desk and read her book, and I'm to the table with the group, teaching them. Some of them couldn't spell cat, grown men.
Mercy.
Didn't know when it's the CAT, they didn't know what that means. I look at him, I said, I thought you told me you graduate from some school. I said, but these things, I know, and I try to read as much as I can.
Yes.
And when I went to school, I done been everywhere, traveled, And I worked, all my life I work. And then when I was 9 years old, I was doing laundry for a boarding house.
Oh, mercy.
And when I got to be 11 years old, I went to cook for the white folks. I had to stand on box to wash the dishes. I could manage with the stove, but the stove wasn't that high, but the sink was a little high. I had to put a box to stand on to wash the dishes. And then when my 12th birthday was coming up, I know now I'm old enough to join the church. I want to get, that's all I want to do is to get in the church. And I joined the church when I was 12 years old. Wow. And coming up is to seek your religion. Like now, people just go to the altar and say, I want to be a Christian. But when I come up, you have to seek your religion.
Seeker, that's right.
You had to seek it.
Yeah,
you go to your, when you join, go up to the pulpit and said, you want to join the church, you got a class leader. Right now, nobody seems to know what class leader is. Wesley always had class leader because I was a class leader in Wesley.
Yeah, we still do. I went to a meeting on Monday.
I was a class leader. I was usher, class leader, club leader, stewardess, deaconess. When I leave Wesley, I was a deaconess. I was the head deaconess in Wesley when I leave Wesley. Yes. But you know, I mean, either you want to be or you don't want to be.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't play with God.
No.
You give him everything you got.
Yes.
I know nobody perfect. Only God is perfect.
Yes.
We are not perfect. We can always do something we shouldn't do.
Dr. Arthur Presley.
But me, I always want to do the right thing, treat people the way I do. And right now, even I'm the oldest one in this neighborhood.
Mercy.
But all the people in this neighborhood, I'm the oldest one.
Is this all seniors out here?
Huh?
Is this all seniors?
The whole complex. I'm the oldest.
Okay.
One lady, she'll be 100 next September, I think. That's the next one to me. But I mean, I treat everybody equal. I don't care white, black, blue, or pink, or green. Don't make no difference to me. And I always, was like that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Could we just get it on record when you were born and where, and just a little bit of that history?
Where I was born?
Yeah, and what
I was
year?
born in Wadmalaw Island. That's 23 miles from the city, Charleston, South Carolina.
It was out in the water, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was out in the water. Yeah. Yes. Wadmalaw.
Wadmalaw.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
And what year?
1913.
1913. Praise his holy name. And when did you come to Harrisburg?
1944.
1944. And did you join Wesley at first when you came to Harrisburg?
No, because when I found out I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, then I went to church. I just visited church. I didn't join no church until my baby born in July. And I take her back home. I take her to South Carolina to my mother because I had to work to take care of myself and my mother. Even though I had a husband, he works all weekend to come home on Friday without a paycheck. But I was, and I had to work because I had to take care of my mother as well as my kids. I had 4 kids to take care of. And I take my child home in November. She born in July. And I take her home in November, just before Thanksgiving, because I know I had to be back to help with Thanksgiving dinner, to fix Thanksgiving dinner. And when I come back, when I got home on Thursday. And some kind of how, I never forget, my sister had kids play with cards, that chord. And my husband had taught me how to read chord. So I pick up the chord and I shuffle it. When I shuffle and play it, and I said, oh my gosh, that son of a gun coming home. Now, I asked him before I leave here, I said, do you want these two kids? I said, if you want them, I said, you take them Tennessee to your mother, because I got to work. I said, and if you don't want them, I'm going to take them South Carolina to mine. And I did. So then there was a boy that we grew up together. He was home, he was in the Navy, and he was home on, on leave. And we meet, and he said to me, oh, Miss Nellie, said, there's a band from New York coming across the river tonight to play. Would you like to go? So I said, yeah, because I'm going back. I got to leave Sunday to come back to Pennsylvania because I got to be back on my job. So I said, yeah, I'll go. We went he come and picked me up. We went to the dance, come back, dropped me off, and I went to my sister's house. I went upstairs. When I went upstairs and I started to the bedroom, a knock come on the door. So I said, now who be coming to my sister's house this time of night?
Mercy.
I forgot I had seeds in the car that he was coming. When I opened the door, he's standing at the door, packing his pocket. Now, I went home Thursday. Friday, he comes home. He's supposed to be working at the plant. So I didn't think nothing of it. I said, all right. So then I was going to another dance with another boy that as I said, we grew up together. He was living, there was both of him, this other boy and my sister all live on the project. Hello? Hello? Could you call me back later? I got some company right now. This phone makes me sick. Anyway, I had to get a message to him that I wasn't going to the dance because instead of come back on leave day on Sunday to come back to Harrisburg, I called the train station. After he leave, I got up Saturday morning, I called the train station. And the train, I said, what time the first train leaving for Pennsylvania? He said, 9 o'clock. I said, I'll be on it. I got up, packed my bag, and caught a cab and went down to the train station, got a train, come back to Pennsylvania.
That's beautiful.
And you stayed.
And I hear from him two times since then. One time, he called me wrote me a letter from South Carolina. Tell me for me to come back. He know why I leave South Carolina because the climate, the doctor sent me from down there because the climate don't agree with me. And the last time I hear from him, I was living on Wood Street. You know where the nursing home is now?
Yes.
I used to live that way. I used to live. And I had just leave New York and come back. And that time my youngest daughter had come up to live with me. And he called and said, oh, I called to find out if would you like to come to New York? I said, I just got back home from New York. Well, why you call me to ask if I want to come to New York? I said, no, I'm not coming to New York. And I said, well, Rose is here. I said, if you want to send money, I said, you can send money to her, not to me, because I don't want your money.
Mercy.
That's the last I hear from him. Next thing I know, my younger sister, she lived in New York. She called me and told me that he had passed.
Mercy. Mercy.
I said, but that something won't have happened. Everybody who treat me wrong or done me wrong is gone.
Yes, you outlived them all.
Yeah, and I never, if they do me wrong, fine. I pray for them.
Yeah.
I always pray for them. You know
you
what I
forgive
mean?
them.
Yeah.
You don't forget, but you do forgive.
No, that's right. No, just like my oldest daughter. My mother raised four of my kids, but when she got grown up, one time we went to Mexico. I guess you remember when we went to Mexico.
Yes, ma'am.
And I asked her, she was living in New York. I called her and asked her, I said, would you like to go to Mexico? I said, I'll help you pay your way if you like to go to be my roommate. Okay, to win. And then when we went to someplace on a lodge, one of the lodge, one of our organization, because I belong to three of them. And we went, and then when I come back, but when I went, it was so hot. I couldn't stand the heat. I couldn't stand the hot weather. I got sick. So when I come back, then she had asked me to come to New York because she was have a gathering with the family. I said, okay, I'll come. And I come back from New York. I didn't feel like
Making a trip.
going, but I said, I promised I was coming. I got there. I went there, and I said, all right. I went there, and I buy dinner for everybody. And I went in the kitchen. She was in the kitchen. I went in the kitchen. I said, is there anything you want me to help you do before I go to bed? She didn't say, thank you. I can manage. She said, I don't like nobody in my kitchen when I'm cooking. So when she said that, I didn't answer that at all. I went right back in the living room and I said to her husband, I said, Vance, I said, tomorrow when my youngest daughter and her husband come from Philadelphia over here, I said, would you mind taking me to the train station? And I went to the street, and he did. And so then the next time we went to New Orleans. All right, she went from New Orleans with a cousin of mine. When she got there, I asked her, was she going to because when you have a banquet, anybody can go, you know. You don't have to belong to the organization as long as you pay for it. So she said, oh, I know, I don't have no money. So I said myself, and I said, this is a little much. I said, so I opened my billfold and I gave her $20. I said, well, okay, take this and do what you want to do with it. And come back when I moved from here to move to Philadelphia. I went to South Carolina. And she asked me to come, and I went to her. She got a beautiful home in the country. And I went be with her. Then this after I got there Monday, I leave here Monday, Tuesday, Monday, late Tuesday morning, early Tuesday morning I got there. And Wednesday, I went to the beauty parlor, and when I come out, I went to her daughter's house. And she come and got me. She said, oh, I got bad news for you. So I said, what kind of bad news you got for me? She said, and Trista, that's my older sister. She lives in Philadelphia. I went to see her Saturday before I leave Philadelphia.
Right.
And I said, what do you mean Trista died? She said, yes, Trista died. So then that means that we had to turn around. I had to turn around and come right back. I planned to stay down there for a month. But I was going to stay in Charleston. I was going to North Carolina, then going to Columbia and visit a friend, you know, and stuff like that. I said, okay, all right, you come back. So we got my nephew, my grandnephew, said to me, said, Aunt Nellie said, I'm driving to Pennsylvania, said, ride with us, you know, because she's my daughter and my niece, the girl I show you over there on the picture.
Right.
I said, that's all, and his girlfriend was coming back up to, I said, okay, fine. I said, I'll help you with the gas. I paid the gas bill all the way from South Carolina to Philadelphia. My daughter sit, like, near Alice sit here, my daughter sit here, and I sit here. She between the two of us. She give them lunch, each one of them lunch. The two in the front lunch and the two in the back. She and my niece lunch and give them drink. She didn't offer me the crumb.
Wow.
All the way to Philadelphia now.
Wow.
And every time we stop for gas, I'm issuing out money. All right. Then when I come back to my daughter's house in Philadelphia. I didn't mingle with the group. I just stayed to myself. And she said, so when we went back, my daughter, the one I lived with in Philadelphia, she fixed dinner for everybody. She fixed lunch for everybody. I didn't know about the lunch until I come back to Philadelphia.
Okay.
But I did stay down there for the whole month. I went to North Carolina, stayed with my niece in North Carolina. Then I went on the way back. I stopped in Columbia and visited a friend that moved from Philadelphia.
Okay.
And then I went on back to Charleston and packed my bag and hit the train and come on back. I mean, she always doing
something.
and I don't know. I couldn't figure out why. I said I never buy the other 3 kids a pair of shoes unless I buy her shoes. I don't buy one for that. I do that. I said I don't know what's wrong with her. Then when I make up my things for when I died, my obituary, my everything.
All that stuff, yeah.
And I got my youngest daughter in charge.
Okay. You made
And my second daughter. And because if something happened to one of them, the other one, then she started throwing it around. So how come she have her, my youngest sister, my youngest daughter in charge, and she's the oldest. So then I had to tell her last time I went to South Carolina, I tell her all of these things. I say, and another thing, I said, when I had my 100th birthday party, you all invite me down here for a birthday party. I said, they had the tables set up so beautiful, gold and red, and all the chair covered with red and gold in the place. And they had the table set up for me and my children, and their husband and their wife. Her husband come in and sit right next to me. She didn't even invite her husband to the party, but he comes because he knew it was my party. He comes to sit down.
Pays respect.
And when time to eat, when they started putting food on the table, she picked up her plate and went to another table.
Oh wow!
I said, I saw all of that.
Is that one of the daughters that's in that picture?
This is the one sitting right next to me.
Yeah.
The one sitting on the end.
Okay, wow, that's deep.
Now she and her daughter, her second daughter, look older than she does.
Okay.
Let me show you here what I'm talking about. No, this is her.
Right, that's the one I met. She was sitting at the table there the other day.
Uh-huh.
When I came in and...
She's older than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She hasn't said 3 words to me no more, come in and say hello and give me a kiss, and that's what all she said to me. But I got on her case.
Okay.
She's the one so well educated, and I had to tell her about herself. So we all sit at the table and the kids will stand up, there was no place for them to sit. But I tell her, I say, one thing with you? I say, you got so much education, but you don't know how to use it.
We used to call that an educated fool.
That's right. I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to hurt the feeling because the sister and the brother and the daughter and the grand all was here. I didn't want to tell her exactly the way. But she's a school teacher. She's the airplane stewardess.
Been all of that.
And right now she don't have a job. And she sat there and she said, they want to offer me a job, but they won't pay me $10 an hour. When she said that, but she said, with my education, I don't think I should start working for $10. I said myself, I don't remember getting $5 an hour. I said, I just tell her, I said, look at me. I said, take a look at me. I said, I've been here for 103 years old, and I never get $5 an hour.
Wow.
I said, I don't need for anything. I don't want for anything.
That's right.
I said, you try to tell me that you can't start working for $10 an hour?
If you want to eat, you're going to make
Then she tell me, my daughter get married. My daughter, grandma said, my daughter get married. I said, yeah. I said, when? I don't know. You ask her when she come. So when she come on Sunday, she come in. I was at the head of the table. We was at Longhorn. She come and kneel down by me, and I said to her, I look kind of, because her mother was sitting over there. I said, I look like this, and I said, I heard that you gonna get married. She looked right at her mother. She said, that mother with the big mouth. But you know what I mean? I don't know. What's wrong with the kids these days?
Well, we'd have to spend a couple months in retreat to get that to. But have one more seat. I want to close up.
Okay.
Nellie. We still got that voice. We cannot thank you enough, Mother Nellie Banks. Look at it there. Yes.
Huh?
Look over there. Yeah, at that. Right. We cannot thank you enough for your time and for sharing your memories with us. You are emphatically a queen among queens and a child of the King. And we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Bye-bye. Tell everybody bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Wave bye-bye. Thank you. That was beautiful, Miss Nellie. Yes, that's beautiful.
No, but I told him, I said, with me, I said,